Hello friend, welcome to Dr. Subhash Technical Campus. Today's topic is Unijunction transistor. Simply it's called UJT. This topic will cover in power electronics subject, and this is most important topic for the thyristor as well as the power electronic component. So let's begin. Now this is all are solid state physics diode, BJTs, FETs, UJTs, thyristor and IC. This contain the different elements of power electronics, and in this element we will discuss UJT, unijunction transistor. First of all, let me start UJT. What is UJT? It contain only one junction, means here only one PN junction, so one is nothing but uni, so it is known as unijunction transistor. Here only one silicon slab is there, and in one silicon slab there is a two knob or two lead is known as base 1 and base 2, means here one lightly doped high resistance silicon slab. You have to remember only one lightly doped high resistive silicon slab, and two base contain B1 and B2 both the end of this slab. Here one slab, and here the name of this two end is known as B1 and B2, means here 2B or two base device B1 and B2. The PN junction is formed by alloying an aluminum rod to the slab. Now if we add some impurity, or here doping is most important. Doping is nothing but whenever we add some impurity in pure silicon or pure germanium or pure semiconductor material, then it known as doping. Now we can change the material characteristic using doping. The aluminum rod is closer to B2 and B2 contact than the B1 contact, means here two contact is there, B1 and B2, and you have to this the aluminum rod is closer to the B2 that we have seen in the next slide. The B2 is made up of positive with respect to B1, means here the output supply, whenever we give some input supply, then B2 is positive and B1 is connected to the negative. So we can bias the UJT according to the requirement. So this one is about. Now let's see the structure. Here this is the internal structure of the UJT. Here in UJT there is a two terminal B2 and B1, both are the same slab, and the slab end is nothing but B2 and B1, and one terminal given to the input is emitter. This E is contain emitter. Here only one PN junction is there, so it is known as unijunction. Here this blue region is a one silicon slab, and here the one junction, so it is unijunction. So it is known as PN junction. Then aluminum rod, this all are gray part is aluminum rod. Then N type high resistivity silicon slab, this is the N type material. Then ohmic base contact, this is the ohmic base contact, this B1 and B2. And if we give some external supply, then this is the VBB. Here this one is positive, this is the negative, and this biasing supply is given to outside to the UJT. So friends, this one is about the internal structure. Now this is the internal structure, it is not symbol. If you want to draw the symbol, then you have to draw like this. This is the base 2, this is base 1, means this is the B1, this is B2, and if here N some emitter, then emitter is slightly here some angle. So this is the symbol of that we have seen in next slide. This is the symbol of UJT. You friends, you have to remember here UJT is nothing but unijunction transistor. It is a transistor but only one junction is there. So this is about the internal structure of UJT. Then if you want to draw the equivalent circuit, then this is the equivalent circuit of the UJT. In equivalent circuit, the internal RB2 is resistance between B2 to emitter, and this is the resistance between emitter to B1, and in between this one diode is there. This diode is nothing but PN junction, and this PN junction works as a simply diode. Now resistance between this B1 and B2, total resistance is RBB, and RBB is equal to RB1 plus RB2 whenever the current is 0, means UJT is in off state, at that time the current is 0 and the total value of this resistance between B1 and B2 is RB1 plus RB2. Now applied voltage is VE, and applied current according to this VE, current flow through this UJT is IE, and voltage drop in this junction is VD, and the value of this resistance means this resistance is variable and this resistance is fixed. Then this value of this resistance RB1 is vary according to the input voltage. So this one is about the internal structure equivalent circuit of the UJT. The equivalent circuit implies the two resistance, one is fixed and another is variable, and the single diode is there. RB1 is series with IE, and the variation between this voltage resistance is in terms of 5 to 50 kilo ohm, and the corresponding variation in current is 0 ampere to some 50 milliampere, up to 50 milliampere current is IE is changed. So this one is internal equivalent circuit of the UJT, and if the VE is greater than RB1 by VD, the VD value is 0.35 to 0.7. So this is the breakover voltage of any junction. Now we know that diode is forward bias diode is forward bias after the 0.7 volt. Now 0.7 volt is nothing but knee voltage for silicon diode, and for germanium diode it is 0.3 volt. The diode will fire and IE will begin to flow through the RB1. Now RB1 is nothing but internal resistance between from emitter to base 1, and so you have to remember this equation VP. This VP we will talk later in next slide, because is related to the internal VA characteristic of the UJT. VP is nothing but peak voltage, is nothing but eta VBB plus VD. VBB is a total voltage between B1 to B2, and eta is nothing but VR1 divided by VBB. So this is the most important criteria or equation for the UJT. Now let study about the characteristic or VA characteristic of UJT. This is the VA characteristic of UJT. In UJT there is three region. The first region is known as cutoff region, the second region is known as negative resistance region, and third region is known as saturation region. First of all, let me start with cutoff region. In cutoff region there is a negative current is there, means there is no current, or zero current means UJT is in off state, so it is known as cutoff region. In cutoff region there is some microampere current is flow, and it is in terms of negative current, so IEO, this current is known as cutoff region current or cutoff current. Whenever IE is open, means whenever emitter is open, at that time current will in terms of microampere, so it known as IEO. So this one is about cutoff region. The cutoff region is over after the peak value or peak point. If suddenly the voltage is increased, current is fixed, but at this point the voltage is maximum. After this voltage it will try to increase the current, and voltage is decreased. So after this point, peak point, the value of voltage is decreased, but the value of current is increased. This value of voltage is decreased, but value of current is increased. So this region is known as negative resistance region. Why it is negative resistance? Because it not follow the Ohm's law. According to Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. Whenever voltage is increased, at that time current is also linear with voltage, so it not follow this condition. So this region is known as negative resistance region. Now this is most important region for the UJT, because whenever we draw next waveform, at that time this region is very important for the circuit design. After this point, the valley point is there, means after valley point the voltage and current both are increased, means this is the valley point. After valley point the saturation region is occurs, and in this region the UJT become on. After valley point or valley volt, this is the VV. value weight is minimum voltage and Vp is maximum voltage. After the Vv, the voltage and current both are increased and both are positive. So this is the positive resistance region and it is known as saturation region. So you have to remember this cutoff region, negative resistance region and saturation region. So this is about the VI characteristic of UJT. And in after this characteristic you have to remember two definition, peak point definition and valley point or valley volt or Vp. Vp is peak voltage and Vv is valley voltage. So you have to remember these two voltage in this characteristic. Okay. Then what is application of UJT? UJT is required in power electronic as a triggering circuit. Now, if you want to design a triggering circuit of SCR, we know what is SCR. SCR required some triggering pulse, and if you want to design a triggering pulse, then relaxation oscillator is required. This is a oscillator. Now, oscillator is nothing but it generates some frequency signal. If we give some DC supply and it convert this DC supply to the some frequency like supply or frequency like signal, then UJT is required for the relaxation design. Now, this is the basic circuit of relaxation oscillator. Here R1 and C, this capacitor is most important. This R2 is biasing over resistor and this is output voltage, this is our input voltage. Here plus VBB and this ground is connected to the minus VBB, means this type of supply is there. So we can directly ground it. So according to the value of R1 and C, here the frequency depend upon, suppose we want to design some frequency, then T is equal to RC and F is nothing but 1 upon T. So we can easily design the frequency of this VR2. So this is the basic fundamental of UJT relaxation oscillator. Now we know that this capacitor is used to charge and discharging. According to the charging and discharging, we get some voltage over here VE. Whenever Vc is equal to 0, means there is no charge in this capacitor, and we apply the VBB, then it start to charge. It maximum charging is Vc, and according to the charging, it become maximum charge. Then polarity is like this. This one, this terminal become positive, and this terminal become negative. Now, when the supply voltage VBB is first applied, then UJT is in off state because the total current will flow through this capacitor. There is no current in VE or ammeter. IE is 0 and capacitor will charge exponentially through the R1. Through the R1, capacitor will charge exponentially. Then what happens? Whenever it become maximum charge, then it try to discharge. And the discharging path of this capacitor is through ammeter, B2 and through ground. So this broader line will follow, or this is indicate the discharging path of this capacitor. So this charging and discharging is most important, because according to this charging and discharging of this RC, the frequency of this VR2 is depend. So you have to remember the value, the charging and discharging path of the circuit. Now we already know the UJT contain a negative resistance region. So according to the negative resistance region, this charging and discharging path, and we can draw the waveform like this. Whenever we draw the waveform, when the VE reaches to the valley point VV, then UJT will turn off and UJT become turn off. So friends, this one is about this is the VV point, means valley point, and this is the VP point. The capacitor will start to charge from VV to VP. This is the charging path of capacitor, and this time is depend upon the value of R1 and C. If this value of capacitor is very high, then the charging time is also high. If value is small, then charging time is small. And this is the charging time of this capacitor. After capacitor become fully charged, means here VP, after VP the negative resistance region is there. At that time capacitor will start to discharge, because current will flow from the ammeter to base B2. At that time what happen? At the time of discharging of capacitor, we will get some output spike, and this spike is very important for the triggering of SCR. So we can design the triggering circuit of SCR if you want to change the time period t, then if you want to change this time period t, then we have to change the value of R1 or C. Capacitor value or resistance value will decide the value of t, and according to the value of t we can change the frequency of the this spike or this pulse. This pulse is nothing but triggering pulse of the SCR. So we can easily design the triggering circuit of the SCR. This is the basic fundamental. This is let revise some condition for on time and off time. The condition for the switching on is nothing but switching on. In other words, the R1 must be small, such as the IE is not limited the value of less than the VP. Means we have to design this R1 is very small resistance, and VC means the value of capacitor is vary according to our requirement. So this one is the relaxation oscillator basic switching on condition, and you have to remember this equation for switch on. VC is equal to VP, then VBB, total voltage between B1 and B2, VBB is greater than, always greater than IP R1 plus VP, and VBB minus VP, then IP is greater than IP R1. And if you want to design any circuit relaxation oscillator, then first you have to design this value of R1, and this value of R1 is less than, always less than VBB minus VP upon IP. This ratio is the resistance, because V is equal to IR and R is equal to V by I. So we can directly say VBB minus VP and divided by IP. So we can easily design the value of R1. So this one is about the relaxation oscillator design. Now switch this, already we have know the characteristic of the UJT, this cutoff region, negative resistance region, saturation region. You have to remember VP, VV, and sorry, this one is valley point, peak point, and this is the saturation point. After saturation point, the UJT become on, and it allow to flow the current, means it allow to IE current through the UJT. So this is the condition of off state. In off state, there is a VBB value is very less than IV R1 plus VV, means the switch off the UJT, the emitter current IE must be dropped below the valley point. Means our current is below the valley point, then UJT become off. So we can say that is in UJT is in off state, and according to this we can get this type of waveform. If our VP point, this is our valley point, this is the revised portion of this video. Charging time, this is the discharging time, this is also charging, and according to this charging and discharging, here this part is most important, because in this part we will get some spike, and this spike is required for the triggering of UJT or triac or GTO. These all are the power electronic devices, and for the triggering purpose this relaxation oscillator is most important. So friends, you have to remember this charging time tau is equal to R1C, and this is discharging time tau is equal to RB1 plus R2 into C. If we change the value of capacitor or R1, then we change the value of T. T is nothing but R1 into C, and F is equal to 1 upon T. So if we change this value, then inversely proportional. So we can say that F is inversely proportional to T. So according to our requirement, we can change the value of R1C, and we can change the firing angle of the SCR, and according to the firing angle of SCR, the output voltage of SCR is changed. So this is most important for the controlling of the SCR and output voltage of the SCR. So friend, this one is about the basic idea of the UJT. If you have any question or query, then you can free to write on chetanb@drsubhastech.edu.in, so we can understand this topic for the exam purpose as well as any competitive exam purpose. Okay, thank you.